Hello, I'm Julia Cordova. First of all, I just want to say thank you for liking my videos with the little thumbs up on YouTube and subscribing. I really appreciate it. The more people that like my videos, the more people that might see it that haven't seen me before, and maybe I can reach out to more people and just really feel like I'm not talking to myself. So I appreciate it. Anyway, let's jump right into charts. I don't have a lot of time before futures start, okay? All right. Whoop. Okay. Let's go. Let's start off by looking at ES or SPX weekly futures. So last week we got to the top of the channel and continued going. This is a very strong looking candle. It does not look toppy to me insofar as it looks very much like a high likelihood of price action going up before it goes down. Oh, that was dramatic. Sorry about that, that was my light. So anyway, high likelihood of the price action coming up before down. I don't have resistance until 41.83. I don't have any lines above that. But that is where I have resistance. Doesn't mean it'll meet it necessarily, but that is the measured move I have from this flag breakout back here. And if it does go below 41.10 and really sticks there, I'm going to tell you for more than a day or so. At the beginning of the week, I don't know that that's going to be real positive because this is either the start of a melt up or a fakey breaky. So I imagine there will be some drama this week. I don't expect it to go straight up, but let's just see what happens. From an RSI perspective, we're sort of back out of the woods of that potential divergence, and it still looks okay. Actually, it's got some room to go here. Nothing looks bearish at this point. Let's look at the daily. Okay, same thing. I mean, this target I have for daily, also off of a flag, and see this past flag here, and it's very close. It's within 5 points of the other. So what does that mean? That means that the 41.80 level is strong resistance. So if it does get there, I might take the short scalp downwards from there and just see where it goes. Okay, let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ weekly here. So this doesn't look bearish at all, does it? This actually looks almost triple toppy. Doesn't mean it won't head down from here. It just does not look at this time bearish. I don't have resistance in NASDAQ until 13,964, which would be above this previous high, which was set on an overnight on a holiday weekend. I did take the short at 3,900. I'm not gonna lie, very happy about that. Did I hold it as long as I should have? No, because I was all, you know, I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, let's see. So 13,964 is resistance, and then the measured move though from this weekly triangle break isn't until 17,794 or so. So maybe there might be some drama this week. Maybe it'll shoot over this 13,964. Let's see. Let's look at the daily. Okay, so I have a measured move here of 14,134 or so. That's out of this flag breakout. So again, not, you know, higher high to this previous one. This looks, I mean, it looks like it's, to me, it looks like it's going to go higher. I don't know what it's going to do after it gets here, if it does get here, but on the downside, I'm watching 13,737 as the first layer of support, and below that, it would be very healthy, actually, because it would have a lot of people start to talk about, wah, wah, we reached a cap, if it goes back to 13,592, which I said, like I said, was resistance. I took partial profit here, and then it danced on the resistance for 2 days, and then whoop, right up. And this isn't the most bullish of candles, but you know what? This wasn't the most bullish of candles. I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm watching the 13,737 level and the 14,134 level. And here, I would definitely, if it went here, especially if it went here without going up first, I would scalp long. I'll let you know on Twitter what I'm doing, if I'm doing something, maybe. Oh. Depends on if I'm in the office. Okay, now let's look at Tesla. Okay, so I had talked about a mirror fractal in just offhandedly to somebody, and I got about a bajillion direct messages going, what is a mirror fractal? Now, a fractal, I actually don't know. Let me just tell you what I think a fractal is, because maybe I'm using the word wrong. I think a fractal is like a repeat of a certain pattern of behavior. So I can't even show you on the fly, but it's basically just it's like a repeat of something that's happened before. I've actually talked about it in oil before, but here's what I'm talking about. So this blue line is resistance. We touched the blue line, we went high, we went then a lower high, and then went down. Now a mirror fractal, so this pink is support. We almost touched the pink, close enough in my opinion. And then we did a low and then a higher low and then came back up out of it. So this area here, I'm going to circle it just so it's more clear. I'll use black because I don't care. Anyway, okay. Okay. So this, to me, looks like a bigger mirror version of the fractal. Touch, come back in, right? Touch, back up, right? Okay, so now what does that mean? That means that if price now stays above, tomorrow is 668.66, then I think it's got a very high likelihood of coming in and hitting this blue line. And actually, because it's a larger version of this fractal, if it does not just poop and it just kind of, then I think the longer it does that, staying above this pink line, the more chance it goes way above this blue line and breaks the F out, which then will make me have to calculate another move, and it'll be way up in the, out of the range of this chart. So anyway, I am long Tesla. I actually added on Friday. Again, I've been scalping the crap out of it. No lie. Okay, so anyway, we'll see what happens. I will definitely start worrying about it below this line. We can talk about it on the internet like people do. Okay, let's talk about gold. Not much to speak of, really. I've been looking at this dotted line sort of on the hourly chart, and I mean, we're just still dancing around it. Just consolidation. It still looks okay to me. It does not look like it's ready to poop yet. It also doesn't look like it's about to break the F out. For it to break the F out, it has to get above first this blue channel, which, let me tell you what it is. Hold on. I'll just move this here. Which next week is 1773, which is very close to the key level of 1788. So really above 1788, and everything is going to be like, I think, for the bulls, because that means at least I think that we'll mix squeeze up to 1926. Very high likelihood above 1788 of mix squeezing to 1926. So that's a really easy, I'm going to say easy. That's a good odds trade to take should we get there as far as the swing trade goes. Okay, let's look at silver. Okay, I had drawn this line in last week, so we were about here last week. I'd drawn in this line as the line to watch, this dotted line. We almost touched it, and we're still just dancing around it. I don't think this is still the line to watch here, and it's at 25.39. That's what I drew in last week. Still what we're watching on the smaller time frames. Not doing a lot, which means that when it goes one direction or the other, it's going to go a lot. Okay? Not bullish per se, I don't think, until 26.94. That is the key level. Now, if you squint your eyes, you might see what looks like a bull flag here, right? Yeah, maybe. Interesting. Okay, so let's watch let's watch that, and let's look at GDX. So GDX, I had posted on Twitter. We bought down here because we're magnificent at buying the dip. Anyway, we bought down here, and then it came back and retested this channel. Now it's at resistance, which is this next red line. If it breaks out this week, the key that we're watching, the no, it's not the key, but the fire extinguisher line or value is 34.72. Above that, and potentially we could break the F out. So what I would, as a bull, what I would optimally like to see is I would like to see us gap up, retest, which actually is very close to where we are now. We're at 34.73 right now. 34.72 is the breakout. It just has to open a little bit up, just a little bit, and then come back down, fill the gap if there is one, and go up. If it starts downwards, then more of a chance early week consolidation. Not the worst case scenario in the world, but above very, very bullish. And I would look first for this 38.68 level if it can get there this week. I mean, I would like one of these alien green candles. Let's start a thing. Why not? I want to start a thing. Let's start a thing. Okay, let's look at oil. Okay, this is the oil weekly futures. This looks like crap to me, to be quite honest and frank. It'll look better if it gets above... I didn't label this MA, but what if it gets above 61.77, it'll look a lot better to me, but it looks like it's about to poop, in my opinion, because it's doing the curvy thing and not the flaggy thing. So next level of support, just eyeballing this, is about the 55 level, but it can still go all the way down there and be extremely bullish. Still extremely bullish. And it could go, I mean, it could go lower, but like still to 55 level, people would be like, oil's tanking, oil's crashing. No, it's not. Calm down. Look at this. Look at this. It could flag for weeks and still be super bullish. But just from a pure price action perspective, 55 would still be extremely bullish. And it would be a good place, I think, to start scaling into longs if you are so inclined. Okay, so, and then this is the XOP, which is the basket of equities that surrounds oil, and yeah, this looks like crap. Now, if it gets down to the 7209 level, I would buy the F out of it. Why? Because that was my original dashed line that I've had for ages. Also happens to coincide with the 20 MA, which, as we all know, on the weekly, and most traders are very like, I want to look at my 5-minute chart, and I hit my buttons. They're not looking at the weeklies, which is like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? You have to look at multiple time frames, and the bigger the time frame, the more important the values are. What? How is that? I mean, it makes sense, right? But they're not thinkers. They don't think. We gotta think. We're gonna think ahead. We gotta be ahead of the group. Okay. Anyway, gets down to the 1709 level. My ass will be buying some stuff bigly. Big time. Okay, let's look at natural gas. I mean, of course it's going to close on this line again. Of course it is. Of course it is, because it's really annoying, and I can't predict it, even though I try every week. I try my best. Oh, sorry. So I left these on here because I was teaching. I was not teaching. I was showing a friend how I scalp. Let me get rid of this. Delete. Okay. Okay. Still looks like to me like it could potentially do something if it gets back above 2.564. It's not dead yet, Jim, but it looks to be like a little bit like the brain waves are not going full capacity. If it gets below, actually, yeah. If it gets below 2.484, it's looking deathy. Like death, like death. Okay, so I'm definitely watch that. Now, if it gets above this 2.564, it could potentially, we could potentially be bottom catching this. I don't know. I hope so. All right. Oh, okay. Sorry. All right, don't look at that. All right, let's look at Joe. I had said last week that I thought a high probability of it going down more before up. I was incorrect. So it closed right on this key level of 36.66. Now, one thing I did notice that was super interesting, if you're still watching this, because nobody still watches this, but if you are, here's a bonus for you. So if you look at this price action, do you see how it kind of went up here and then came down here and then looks to be flaggy, so to speak? It's actually very similar to GDX. Do you see how GDX sort of did this weird thing and then it started to get flaggy? It had a little, it came up and did a blip and then it started to get flaggy. Joe is doing the same thing. It came up, had a thing, and then it's like gotten flaggy. Now, that's interesting. That's very interesting because GDX is something I look at to sort of track whether or not gold is going to do something interesting. And it looks like coffee is sort of mimicking GDX behavior. The blip and then the flag. And then on GDX, the blip and then the flag. That's interesting, right? I think it's super interesting. I just noticed it when I was preparing for the video, which means that like even if I am talking to myself, yay me, because I'm talking smart stuff to myself. All right, that's it. Let me make myself big. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Oh, 601. Okay, bye.